Hello, and welcome to the Fit and Lit podcast. My name is Bridget Koenig, and I am your host today. And always, we're here to talk about fitness, literature, aka trashy novels, but lit sounds a lot better than fitness and trashy novels. So, oh, it has been a really relaxing week. Really relaxing weekend this past weekend. Didn't do too much and it was great. This past Friday was Friday the 13th and it was so fun. I have so much fun with spooky things, as you can tell if you've listened before. I'm going to be drinking my water again today. I'm trying so hard to get this gallon in, but I don't want to drink it while I'm recording this because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom halfway through. And that's like the hardest part with drinking so much water. But I had an energy drink earlier too, so that doesn't help. Because caffeine makes me need to use the bathroom more often. I was teaching my class today right before this, and I was like, I'm about to pee my pants. Like, you guys can handle this for 2 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But oh, okay. So Friday the 13th, we had an event here. It was a girls' night, and we played a murder mystery game that I heard about first, actually, from another podcast that I was listening to, actually, on like multiple podcasts. I've heard it over and over, which is how businesses get you to buy stuff, right? They tell you the same thing over and over and over and over. So you hear it a lot. And I was influenced and I bought this game, and I'm so glad that I did. The game is called Who Killed Mia? And it is, I had to Google to see if this game was like a real person. Mia Starr, she is a YouTuber and she gets murdered on Instagram Live. And you get to watch her murder happen. Well, it's not, you don't get to see all the details, but you get to watch her murder happen on live. And nobody knows who killed her. Somebody was taken into custody, but it wasn't her who did it. So you have to prove who did it. And you get to look at all of this evidence. It's fake, by the way. I don't think I clarified. It is fake, but it's just a game. But there's like true evidence that you can look at. And we had like evidence, like hard evidence, like pictures, statements, interviews, lanyard passes, all this cool stuff, pictures, a promotional, like what do you call it, a PR box kind of thing to open. We just had evidence everywhere, and it's all like you document everything from your smartphone. So there are QR codes on a lot of the evidence, and you get to hack the girl's phone. You get to look at her emails, her text messages, her photos. You get to watch videos of another YouTuber talking about her case. If you go on Instagram and you look up hashtag Who Killed Mia, you'll come across all of these really cool videos. Like, it looks like it's a real thing, which is why I had to Google, like, is Who Killed Mia? Like, is Mia Starr a real YouTuber? Is she a real person? But she's not, but it makes it seem like it is. And it is so cool. So if you're into true crime or solving mysteries, I highly suggest checking it out. It's like and you can reuse the game as long as you put the right pieces in the right spot. You can totally like sell it, or you can probably find one used, honestly, because the same people aren't going to use, you're not going to do it again because you already know the answers. But I would highly suggest doing it if you like that. You could technically do the game by yourself, but that's no fun. Like, do it with someone else, or a group of people. We had like 5 people, and it was so fun. It was so fun. It took us like an hour and 45 minutes to solve it, and it says about an hour to 2 hours to solve it, but if you're new to it, I could see it taking even longer. And depending on how much, you're side chatting and stuff, but it was so much fun. We came in I was all cozy. I had a blanket. We had snacks. I made some caramel apple nachos. So you like slice apples like super thin, like chips, and you spread them out on a plate, and then you cover it, like drizzle caramel. What else did I put on there? Oh, almond butter. And then I chopped up some dark chocolate and sprinkled it over the top. And also, what else? Oh, chocolate sprinkles. And I like put them on top. And it was really cool. They were so good. Very fall-esque. And then, of course, I brought some Athletic Brewing. I was drinking an Athletic Light, which is their light beer. And it's one of my favorites. It's really good. But if you want to try it, of course, here's the plug. Athletic Brewing. Is it co.com? Athletic Brewing. Go to Athletic Brewing, Google it, and use the code. Just go in the show notes. What am I talking about? Go in the show notes, go in the description. There's going to be a link. Use the link. It supports me. You can use the code Bridget20 at checkout if it's your first order, and they'll deliver it right to your door. It's non-alcoholic beer, and it's really good. And I, again, highly suggest. 10 out of 10. Athletic Light, super good. They have the Dark and Gordy out right now, which is a dark pumpkin-y stout for you fall pumpkin stout lovers. It's really good. We should have some coming in. My husband ordered some yesterday, so it should be here probably tomorrow, the next day. I think I'm going to drink it on the podcast and let you know how it tastes, because it's so good. But what was I getting at? Oh, yeah, you need to get with your friends and play this game. It's really fun, and it's perfect for spooky season, especially if you like to stay inside. But I felt like I was on Only Murders in the Building. I felt like I was trying to solve this murder, and it was really, really fun. And then Saturday and Sunday, we just chilled. Like we went grocery shopping and got some food. I made sure to meal prep for the week, and I'm suggesting you so many things today. But what I would do is Saturday and Sunday, make your breakfast, lunch, and dinner on both days, but make double the batch so that you have extras. And that way you have breakfast pre-made for the week, lunch pre-made for the week, and then dinner pre-made for the week. And you have 2 different options. So that's what I did. And I am set for the week. We've got some curry. We've got some tempeh, stir fry. We've got tofu scramble, which is my favorite. You just scramble up, like literally just put it in a pan and just mush it all together. And it's extra firm tofu, mushrooms. I like to add zucchini a lot of the time. Sometimes onions, garlic, bell peppers. What else? Spinach. And then I just put like a little bit of turmeric so that the tofu turns yellow, so it looks a little bit like eggs. And you just literally like saute it. It'll get kind of watery, and you can either drain off the water or just turn up the heat so it kind of evaporates out or whatever. But it's so good, and it keeps so well in the fridge. And then I just like to put it with a tortilla, and you can either make like little breakfast tacos or a breakfast burrito. So good. Put a little bit of nutritional yeast on top for extra little cheesy protein flavor. So good. But yeah, I got caught up on laundry and did all that fun stuff. In the challenge that we're doing, the Awaken 4-week challenge, we have a day set for Sunday that's your only goal for the day, is to prepare for the week. So I got my cooking out of the way. I got my laundry out of the way. I did some little meditating, like getting set for the week, mindset set for the week. I did something, I planned all the Awaken workouts for the week for all the classes. What else did I do? I just really set myself up well. Oh, I made sure that my calendar was up to date and that my workouts that I'm going to be doing were set. It was just a good weekend. It was a really good way to start the week. I got some reels scheduled out. I started a new series, a new group of posts, I guess you could say, for Awaken, because I have been putting off self-defense for way too long. And self-defense is a big deal, especially as a woman. And I know this is why I've been putting it off so long. Okay. So I own a cardio kickboxing studio. It's a cardio kickboxing studio. I teach women to punch, I teach women to kick, but my main goal is fitness. But to an outsider, it looks like we're fighting like to fight, right? And there's a big difference between fighting to fight and fighting for fitness. However, there is some overlap. So you can learn to punch and punch the right way. You can learn to get away from a person. You can really learn to do some damage or, put what you learned into actual like functional use, right? But I am not trained that way. I did do Muay Thai and some other martial arts training, but that was like a long time ago and I haven't been keeping up with it like I should. So I have been putting it off because I don't feel like I'm qualified to really teach it. However, there is a lot of self-defense that isn't on the fighting side. For example, our first post, our first word of advice for self-defense was to stay off of your phone while you're sitting in your car. Like, don't scroll on your phone in your car, in parking lots especially. This means that when you're see, I'm getting nervous just talking about it, because for me, like, I feel like there's so much pressure. If I don't talk about it and somebody doesn't, if I don't talk about it and there's somebody who doesn't know this, then I am withholding that information from them that could potentially save their life. Now, if somebody listens to it and hears this and does what I say and still gets hurt where something happens, then I would feel like horrible. And I feel like this is distortive cognitive distortion talking right here. But let's say like somebody does exactly what I say and then they come at me saying like, I did what you said and I still, like, this horrible thing happened to me and it's all your fault. That's how I'm like seeing it. Like, okay, I'm not qualified to be able to teach you how to defend yourself. That's how I feel. Although I know that's not true. I'm just giving information. And my goal, like, this is so important that I have to start somewhere. Like, I just have to start. So I'm really kind of like self-conscious about posting this stuff. But at the same time, if I'm withholding this information that seems like common sense to me, but might not be common sense to somebody else, like, I would be like, that's even worse, right? And then there's like the whole victim, like you're victim blaming. I think there's a reason to be smart, and there are horrible people out there. So you can, protect yourself in a smart way, and you can prevent things from happening. Hopefully, if someone's out to get you or like something bad is going to happen and that person is, they've already made up their mind, but there are some things that you can do to help deter or to make yourself less vulnerable or take yourself out of a situation that might draw an attacker in. So that's just my goal. That was a really long-winded way to say what I say is not everything. Don't take it for, you know, the Bible. Like it's not, no, take it as the Bible. Interpret it how you want to, okay? You can interpret this however you like. However, I'm going to tell you what I think and what I personally use. See, I don't even know. Like, stick with me here, okay? Just stick with me here. I'm sorry for the last like 5 minutes of me jabbering on about this. Let me just tell you what my tip is, okay? Okay, so the tip is to, again, stay off of your phone. Don't scroll on your phone. If you are in a parking lot, if you're in your garage, who cares? Just make sure you turn your car off, unless it's electric. Then you don't. Anyway, okay, tangenting, going on a tangent again. So stay off your phone. What I mean by this is, let's say you just, came out of the grocery store, came out of the gym, came out of, I don't know, the coffee shop, whatever, and you sit in your car and you're just scrolling. 5 minutes goes by, 6 minutes goes by, and you're just sitting there looking down at your phone. There can literally be someone standing right by your door and you won't even know that they're there. I've done this. I know this because I've walked up to somebody's car, somebody I know, of course, and I'm like standing there and I have to knock and you scare them. Like that's happened. And that can happen with a bad person too. Like it's not always going to be your friend that's knocking on the window or, trying to open your door. So this isn't necessarily, they're going to do something to you, but maybe they want your phone or they want your big shiny wedding ring or they want your purse or something. So being distracted is like huge. Like you don't want to be distracted, especially when you're by yourself or in a parking lot, especially when it's dark outside. So just when you get in your car, turn on your car and leave the area until you're somewhere safe. So that is my self-defense tip for this week. Next week, we'll have another one. And like I said, interpret it how you want. I'm not saying that you are a victim, that victims should be blamed if they're not doing these things, or if somebody who is texting in their car, you are not to blame at all. This is 100% bad person, attacker, somebody who is out to hurt people. That is 100% their fault. So, but there is a limit, where you can protect yourself, and just being aware, not looking down at your phone is a huge, huge, huge one. Let's move on to something lighter now. Okay. I just want you guys to be safe. Okay. I started reading the St. Ambrose School for Girls by Jessica Ward. And this book is beautifully written. The writing is so poetic and just beautiful to read. It's about this girl. She's got lots of mental health issues that I haven't quite discovered what they are, but it's from her point of view. So you're in her head. She's 15 and she goes off to this boarding school, and she has kind of a weird relationship with her mother. Her mother seems like narcissistic, maybe, or maybe her mother also has these mental issues. I'm not quite sure. I haven't gotten to that part yet. But she goes to a boarding school and she wears all black. She has black hair. She doesn't quite fit in. And she's there somehow on a scholarship that she did not apply for. She thinks her mother applied for the scholarship for her to go away to this boarding school. And it's from her point of view. So she's talking about these different things. Like, what is she talking about? She talks about the bathroom and how like she just hyper fixates on like different sounds or different people. I can't even explain it other than this book is beautifully written. And it's taking me quite a while to get through it just because it's not a quick read. It's like you have to actually think about what's happening and kind of like there's points where I have to reread sentences just to make sure that I read it correctly. But it's so good. But I said, but, speaking of but, today was glute day. So good. I did 155 again at the gym for squats. I was hoping to get to 160, but I just wasn't feeling quite confident. But I'm getting there. I felt super strong. I also did glutes. So I did only squats and then the glute workout for the Awaken Challenge app. The glute workout or legs workout for the app is just air squats, air lunges, and then like side leg lifts and glute bridge, like a single leg glute bridge. And that was it. Then I did squats. Like that was the only exercises I did. For squats, I started off with a lightweight, then went up 20 pounds, then went up 20 pounds, then went up 20 pounds, each time going as many reps as I could, about like 4-ish reps for each one. And then went back down. So I did like a pyramid, like start low, go super heavy. Once I got to the heaviest, then I went back down the same way. My legs were dead. I was so like my hands were shaking. And all I did was those exercises. So this is some like advice to you. If you are not shaking or if you are not sweating or if you finish a workout and you're like, oh man, I could have gone a lot longer, go heavier. You don't have to go longer. You don't have to do more exercises. Just go heavier because putting that extra load on your body is really going to help even more. Like more than doing more repetitions, more than going longer. You don't have to be at the gym for 2 hours to get a good workout. I was there for like 35 minutes and I was like shaking and I was good to go. I also went for a walk this morning with my dog. We went to a new trail, which was really cool because I didn't even know that trail was there. But around my house, there's always people walking around. There's always people mowing their lawns. There's always like weird stuff happening. And there's not really like I can go maybe a mile on the sidewalk. But by my kids' school, there's like trails and different things. And it's a really nice area. So I feel really safe. And there's not like a lot of people like around. So I felt really safe. So I brought my dog when I dropped the kids off. And then we went on this really cool trail right behind their school. We walked for about 45 minutes, I think. And I listened to a podcast. I was listening to Two Girls, One Ghost, of course. And what were they talking about? Oh, they were talking about Peggy the doll. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's dark here. It's, and also if you're watching on YouTube, I really have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like doing a little dance. So I'm going to be wrapping this up soon, but I highly suggest listening to that podcast. It's their newest one, Two Girls, One Ghost. Anything about that podcast is amazing. I know I've talked about it so much, but it's so good. What else did I do? Oh, I got a tattoo today. Well, I got multiple tattoos. If you're on YouTube, you can see I got like a bunch of little stars and it looks decorative, but I just wanted to be able to say that I have the skin of a killer, Bella. I have sparkly skin now. I've got like all these little tiny stars. They're mixed in with my freckles. The stars are a little bit big, but I do have freckles on my arm. So I just wanted them to kind of accentuate my freckles. And I have one on my hand, a little tiny one, and I really like it. I'm trying not to get crazy because the girl that did these tattoos, she did such a she uses such a tiny needle that I barely felt it. Like there was one and I was like, is she even doing anything? But they look so cute. They're so tiny. And now I just want more. But and if you have tattoos, you know what I mean? You get like that itch, like, oh, I just want more, I just want more, I just want more. But I do think I want to add a few more stars, like right in here. If you're on YouTube, I'm kind of pointing, but I just, yeah, I have sparkly skin now. So beware. Might bite your hand. Oh my gosh. I'm afraid to use references to movies and things on this podcast because in my classes that I teach, I'll reference things all the time or like, quote something and nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. Like 95% of the time, nobody knows what I'm talking about. I referenced Little Shop of Horrors because on Saturday there was an eclipse, which if you got to see that, that was pretty cool. And I was saying, don't buy any plants today because there's an eclipse. And nobody knew what I was talking about. And it was a sad moment. I quoted Salad Fingers. So that was an interesting one to explain to people who had never heard of Salad Fingers. I asked if I could inquire about their spoons, and nobody knew what I was talking about. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're listening to this, just Google Salad Fingers and spoons and eclipse and Little Shop of Horrors. Horrors, HORRORS. But anyway, I hope you all have a great week. And to those 5 people that listen to this podcast, thank you. I really appreciate you. It's really funny because you'll tell me like, oh, I'm listening to your podcast right now, or I listened to your podcast and XYZ. And it's like, I'm still kind of embarrassed about it. I'm like, don't tell me you're listening to it. Just please don't tell me. It's weird. But okay, I'm going to sign off. I really need to use the bathroom and I still have a lot of water to chug. I'm really trying hard to get this gallon in. Using my hydro jug again. Check the description below for a link. Again, it helps me out if you want to get your big old jug of water. This is a half-gallon one. Oh my goodness. Okay. I will see you in a little while. You'll hear from me. You'll hear from me soon. All right. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, leave me a review, do all the things, because if you're listening to this, I think we're on like episode 8. You're a real one, and I appreciate you, and thank you so much. So, okay, for real, I'm leaving. Okay, bye.